Before you do anything with your boat, you need to make sure you do your regular daily checks before you take it to the water. And these include checking the oil first of all. So however you get to your engine bay, here in this Nautique GS22, we pop the side hatches, the storage lockers, then the engine bay, and down here we have our dipstick. Before you check the oil, make sure you have a rag, a clean rag of some description, because you'll need to wipe whatever excess oil there is on the dipstick, pop it back in so you can check the actual oil level for real. Get yourself in a place where you're not going to drip oil all over your lovely boat. Get that rag to hand, ready to catch it. Also making sure you keep as much oil off your hands as possible. And you can wipe as you pull it out. That's the dipstick cleaned. Grab hold of it again. And as fiddly as it is, get it back in, feed it all the way back in, let it settle, pull it out. Now this time you are not going to wipe the end of the dipstick, you're just going to hold it halfway up so that you can actually check the oil level. And there you can see that we've got a nice level of oil on the marker point and we look good to go. Once you've done your oil check, the next thing to check is your transmission fluid. Now, on different boats, as with the oil dipstick, it will be in different places. Here on the GS22, you stay in the engine bay, and it's a little bit of a reach down in the depths of the engine, and it pretty much always has, on our Nautiques, a yellow cap on it, and instead of pulling it out, you have to unscrew it. There we can see already the check is, it's no discoloration, a nice red fluid is the transmission fluid. Wipe it off, pop it back in, screw it back in so it goes all the way into the correct height, unscrew, out it comes again, just to double check that we are in between our minimum and our maximum. Nice red fluid, in the right parameters, we're good to go. Now these first under the hood related checks that you're doing, you can do in any order. So far we've done the oil, we've done the transmission, now we're going to check that we don't have any excess water in the hull. You've already seen inside the engine bay, so you know as to whether there's oil in there or any excess fluids of any sort. Now we're going to check where the bilges are and make sure there is a minimal amount of water in there. There will always be some at the bottom of the hull, and that looks about right to us. Right, it's almost time to get our engine switched on, having done the checks of under the hood. Here are the battery switches. So we've got one switch that powers battery 1, battery 2, the two batteries that run our Nautiques. Overnight, we leave it on switch 1 to make sure that the bilge is operational, just to get rid of any excess water if it rains. Before we go, we want it on 1 and 2. And the reason that is because while the engine's running, it will continually charge batteries 1 and 2 to make sure we've got a full quota of electrics being powered here in the boat. Now you've made sure of all the checks under the hood, you've got your battery switched on, it is time to get that engine started. So as with all of our Nautiques and a lot of modern boats these days, it's a key code, not a key. So we enter that code, don't look. And to get the engine actually rolling, you press the start button twice, but here's a really important thing. Press it once and wait. Wait for the electronics to get rolling first, get all the gadgetry up and in order before you hit start again and get the engine purring. And here we have our full dash, beautiful as it is, ready to go. So let's get that engine on. It is always wise with your boat, especially if it's been sat quiet for a long time, especially if it's been cold, to get that engine revved up a little bit. And in order to do so, find that disengagement of the gearbox button right here. Best off to do it in reverse so we don't slam forwards. And get the engine revving at a moderate rate. We don't want it revving too much, it doesn't need that, but we just want to warm that engine up to make sure everything is in order before we cast off and take it to the water. And while it's warming up, you can get everything ready in your boat, your boards, your ropes, your wetsuits, your life jackets, everybody in, and also getting ready to cast off from the dock so you're ready to go once the engine is warm. While you're doing that, just listen to the engine. As it warms up, it may start to pick up on the revs a little bit, so just ease it off a little by little.